Hello, welcome. In this episode, Luke overthinks the latest Time of the Daleks news. So it's become something of an obsession with this channel to talk about Time of the Daleks and its various expansions. If this is the first video on this subject that you've seen, have a click up in the top corner for my main review of the base game. And then there's also another video I did when I got hold of this expansion. So check those out if you want to know more about the game, how it plays, and the quality of that first expansion. As you can see, I now have 2 more expansions. This is the limit of what you can currently get. But the reason for this video is because Gale Force 9, who make the game, have yesterday made an announcement about the forthcoming... Well, we thought there was going to be 1 more expansion. It's a much bigger announcement than that. So let's get on with the detail. So a quick recap for those who aren't familiar. The base game was released in 2017, I think as Capaldi was leaving, or he was still just about the Doctor. And so the base game came with Doctors 1 and 4, I guess as the most recognisable from the classic series for new fans, and then 11 and 12 as the most recent Doctors. But the game was definitely geared up for expansions. Some stuff in the base game refers to Doctors and characters that you didn't have. The rulebook does as well. And it was announced that the remaining 8 Doctors at the time were going to be split between 4 expansions. Quite clever, really, that they've put the 10th with the 5th, so you have a new and an old, the 9th with the 7th, again, a new and an old. And then you were going to get the 3rd and the 8th, and then the 2nd and the 6th. So I guess if you were a classic series fan, you'd have to get all of them. If you're just a new series fan, you could ignore this one, and you'd get your lot. These 2 expansions duly came out last, I want to say, summer, maybe a bit earlier, closely followed by this one, and I picked them up in this order, just because. And so I now have those 10 Doctors. The 4th expansion was listed on Amazon, available to buy, supposedly. Didn't know when there was a release date. My parents actually ordered it for me for Christmas, and it didn't arrive, but it was promised in the new year. And then I know I wasn't the only one that this happened to. We got sent a box of monster cards for D&D in German. Prior to that, in September, on their Twitter account, Gale Force 9 announced that the 3rd and 8th Doctor expansion was also going to include the 13th Doctor. And there'd also been rumours that there were some licensing issues with the 8th Doctor, which was slowing down the expansion anyway. And obviously this was going to give them some more time to add in the 13th Doctor. So that's where we were up to until yesterday. We were assuming at some point this year we were going to get that final expansion, 3rd and 8th Doctor with the 13th Doctor. Quite how they were going to do the 8th Doctor, we weren't sure. The format of each of these expansions is you get 2 Doctors and then 10 other companion cards, which has meant that with the 6th and the 7th Doctor, they've had to kind of be a bit creative in adding in Glitz and Dibber, for example, and Anselin and Bambera for the 7th Doctor. So people were wondering, well, are we going to get some Big Finish companions in there? Because there isn't enough in the TV movie to really do the 8th Doctor properly. We possibly have an answer to that in that the new expansion has been retitled as the 3rd and 13th Doctor expansion, with the 8th Doctor as an exclusive bonus. So my assumption is that what we'll get is the 3rd Doctor with Liz and Jo and Benton and Yates, probably, because we already have Sarah Jane and the Brigadier in the base game with the 4th Doctor. Then you'll get the 13th Doctor with Graham, Yaz and Ryan, and then you'll have the 8th Doctor with Grace and Chang Lee, possibly? I don't know, that's my prediction. We'll see if that comes true. Whether you'll get a TARDIS console for each of the 3, I don't know. That is still to be decided. But the bigger news is that, first of all, this base game is being reprinted, but with the 13th Doctor instead of the 12th, as far as I can tell. So you'll have the 1st, 4th and 11th as you get in this original edition, but with the 13th Doctor in for the 12th Doctor. I think I saw an image of that. I can't now find it. It's possible that I didn't see that, but I'm pretty sure that's what I saw. If that is the case, it means that you'll need to get your 12th Doctor from somewhere else. So I might be wrong about that. It might just be that they're reprinting this with the base game with 5 Doctors in it. I don't know. We will see. The other news is that there are 2 new expansion's been announced called companion expansions. Now, I'm not quite sure how these are going to work because the companions already exist within the game, but just as cards that you play onto your TARDIS console. These companion expansions give you a minifigure, as you do with all the Doctors in these games, a minifigure for each of the companions, and there are cards that go with that, more timey-wimey cards, but also seemingly event cards from the pictures that have been released by Gale Force 9. But there are no more details as to quite how that mechanic is going to work with the game. So those expansions are, first of all, a River, Amy, Clara and Rory 1. So I guess a sort of 11th Doctor era companion pack. And then we have a Mickey, Rose, Martha, Donna companion pack, so more of a 10th Doctor era companion set. So those are interesting. I thought I was going to be done when I got the 4th expansion to go here. I think I'll wait for more news on those expansions as to how those companion packs are going to work, whether it's worth getting them. It's already a reasonably expensive hobby just collecting this. So we'll see how it goes. Join me in the comments down below if you have played, if you've got hold of any of these. What do you think of the game? What do you think of the news of the new expansions? What are your hopes for further expansions for the game, possibly? I mean, if these companion ones for the new series are good, of course I would love to see some classic ones, but I suspect the market for that is smaller. I don't know. We will see. And yeah, it would be interesting to know from... I mean, I've tweeted at Gale Force 9 several times and they never reply, so I don't think there's any point really asking them how does this new base game work. We'll just have to wait and see what happens with that as and when it comes. Thanks for watching. As ever, somewhere around here there'll be a subscribe button, somewhere there'll be links to other videos that you can see, and there's probably ones on my Patreon somewhere. Still haven't got any subscribers to that, but if you would like to support what I'm doing here on this channel sporadically as it is now, with a Patreon up and running, hopefully I could be more regular with my content.